Well, hello, everybody. It's got to be Thursday. Hey, Francisco, thanks for stopping by again today.
Thank you.
Not again today, but thank you for stopping by today.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. So before this show, we were kind of talking about what to go over, and you wanted to talk about contingent offers. First, I want to talk about one thing. Rates are improving. Don't worry about rates. They're going to keep getting better as the year goes on. So you need to get into contract quickly.
Definitely.
Because you're going to have a lot of competition in about 3 months and a lot more in 6 months.
Right. How are they looking right now?
They actually, got a little bit worse because of the stimulus program that the government signed, the 1.7 trillion. I tell people it's like this. If you're a couple and you have a budget and you have one person on a budget and then the other person's not sticking to the budget, it doesn't work. That's our government right now. All right. The Fed is the person on a budget trying to slow things down. And our Biden administration is the person who doesn't want to be part of the budget. You follow me?
Yeah.
So they're just like, oh, it's free money. Doesn't cost us anything. We're just going to spend and spend. And the worst part is it's such huge waste of money. And I don't want to get all political, but all I'm saying is that because of both of them aren't working together, it takes a lot longer to fix.
Right. No, and that's the thing too. It's like not much changes are being made either. To where I think, it's gonna, like we see, it's kind of like that the repeating issue. Yet, it's like they say that's what insanity is, right? They keep doing the same thing,
over and over,
different results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Right.
And there's checks and balances. I don't see a huge change going through for the next couple of years. So we're still, but it doesn't mean you don't buy a house, because right now every investor I know is buying everything they can get their hands on.
Yeah, no, it's I've been seeing it a lot. And I know a lot of people have been talking about, like, they, another thing that they're waiting for, right, is like all these like the
foreclosures.
Big companies. Well, not even that, just people selling them at discounted prices. Like,
not going to happen.
Right, because
there is some. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple that have happened, but they needed to get out. And that was it. It's not going to be across the board.
Well, that's where it's like, you look like at Open Door and like some of those other companies, right? Like that's what people are waiting for. It's like for those companies to start selling them.
They're not going to.
Right, like that's been their whole model.
They're buying them and holding. They're buying up. This is the thing. Investors are buying to hold to rent because they know down the road we're going to have 70% of the people will not be able to afford to buy. They're going to have to be permanent renters, and that's what they're looking for. And we're so short on homes, they're going to have to rent. They're not going to be able to buy. And people are like, we need affordable housing. Well, we need to build more housing. That's how you get affordable housing. It doesn't go up as much.
Right.
It goes up at a 3 to 4 to 5% rate instead of the 22% rate a year. That's our problem.
No, and that's the thing too, is like, with inventory, and we've been seeing it like stop at places, right? So it's kind of like that slowed down, but I think it's nonetheless, there's a lot of opportunities still out there.
There's a huge opportunity. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but back to your inventory thing. Whatever they say the inventory number is, cut it in half because they include pending sales.
Right. Yeah. And that's, I think, a big thing that, and it is weird because we did get a little slow, right, these past weeks, but obviously, holidays and everything.
Dude, I was slammed.
Yeah.
I'm pre-qualifying people. I have a list of 180 people that have reached out to me over the last 30 some days to qualify and this and that. And there's a lot of people out there looking.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say too, is like, that's what I've been telling everybody to do. Right. But it's like on my end, and that's, and it's a great thing that you see it on your side, being on the loan side. Cause like,
well, that's the first step. They got to get qualified anyway.
Exactly. Right? So that's good news. And it's like, even then too, and I hope, a lot of my buyers and everything that I've been helping start doing that too. And I always try to tell them, even just go get qualified and create a game plan so that you are ready. Because a lot of people are like, you know what, I'll buy in spring or I'll buy in summer. But if you haven't even gone pre-qualified, or you haven't even taken the step of even just getting a credit pull or something like that, you're not going to essentially know where you are until, you do get there. And then what if you wait, you're just like, okay, I'm going to wait until March. Then you go get qualified in March, and now you got to wait 2 more months to fix the things that aren't quite there yet.
God, you sound like me. You're a broken record, man. No, that's like the whole thing is you need to start the moment you're thinking about buying a home, start the process, because you can plan it. It can take you 3 to 6 months if that's fine, but you need to start somewhere. Too many people do exactly what you say is, I'll wait, and then all of a sudden they get a notice that the sellers, the place they're renting is going to be put on the market, and then they go look and they're not ready because they didn't plan, and there's nothing worse than that. So, and because I just had one of my clients like, I can't get money from this, and then my car's older, and I'm gonna have to buy a new car. Well, buy the new car after you get the house because they have a different debt to income ratio situation than what we do. Right. And, there's other programs or state programs to help out. It's just harder when you make a lot of money. And some of these people are nurses and they make a lot of money.
Yeah. So. No, and that's the thing too, is like how we were considering, the contingent offers right now too. Even when I speak about opportunity, I even mean that for like people who are like, for example, trying to downsize or trying to, get into something bigger. It's the perfect time to do it. Contingent offers are being accepted right now. And there's a lot of people that are in those positions where, because I almost want to say like the people that are selling right now want to sell or need to sell.
Well, that's usually how December, January, and February is. You need to sell.
Yeah.
Right. And then March, April, May, June, July are people who really want to sell, not need to sell. Right. Mm-hmm. They're trying to make a move. Right. That's, I think, the difference. In this time of the periods, for some people, it's slower, and they say, it's slower, I'm going to take time off. I'm not mocking you. I'm just making a statement. And then other people like, I work during this period of time. It's crazy because everybody else is taking the time off. It works for me, right? So it just depends. You never know. I mean, right now, people who put their house on the market, they want it sold. They're not like, I want this, and when they come to it, I'll get it.
Yeah. No, and even when I said it was slower, I guess if you rephrase it, it's more so of like there's, like you said, right, like the transactions, right?
Right.
There's not too much of that, but there's a lot of people working towards it. Because I've been staying, in contact with everybody, trying to get them ready. I mean, a lot of people too that like, we talk about like a follow up and stuff like that. I'll be following up with, this month and everything too. And it's just getting there step by step. But that's the thing is, there's a lot of people working towards it now. Like this is like the turning phase. That's why I tell everybody, and like you've been saying too, if we don't get there beforehand, you're gonna miss the curve.
Well, you're gonna be with 20 people writing offers again. Yeah. So what if it's not the perfect rate right now? You'll get the better rate going forward. Yeah, you might have to pay a little bit more monthly, but you're not writing a check for 20 grand over asking right now. Yeah. And that's the difference. And so, and a lot of people still, I'm so nervous. Well, that's why investors are buying everything up, because you're nervous and they're not. They understand this market. It's again, no housing crisis, information crisis. Stop worrying about, I made a mistake and paid $2 grand more than the house is worth. Right? I mean, that's what they're worried about. What are they worried about? I'm going to pay too much because in 2008, that's what happened. Yeah. This is not 2008. We don't have 3.5 million homes on the market, plus builders still building. Builders stopped building because it was so costly because of all the supply chain issues. And then they saw with what the rates had done and people had canceled contracts. Well, in October, they had the most cancellation of contracts. Well, guess what also happened in October? They had the most amount of contracts written. So they had one extreme and then they sold all those.
Yeah, and that's, and as we see it moving forward, I mean, you can't help but really wonder. Now it's just a matter of time, right? Like it's I feel like it's the inevitable that we will see. I know there's a lot of people that also feel that things are going to get even slower or whatever, and that these perfect opportunities.
Are we talking agents or are we talking people?
People, right?
Buyers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So,
well, this is what I was talking about the other day that you weren't on the show, but we need to educate our buyers. And that's the problem is we were salespeople in our industries, in lending industry and the real estate industry, and we gave that up. We were order takers for so long that we forgot the normal sales process and explaining to people and educating them. And that's what we have to get back to.
Yeah. No, and I think it's like kind of how we spoke about as well too. It's just you will see also agents and lenders leaving the industry, just as there's some people that are kind of like concerned about everything. There are agents too who are concerned about it. I haven't been feeling any way about it because, again, like I said, I've been staying consistent on staying in touch with everybody and knowing that they're just waiting for the right time, right? Mm-hmm. Which is kind of like it's
coming. It's coming, yeah. And the right time is now.
Exactly.
Stop waiting. It's here.
Right.
Because we know rates are going to go down, not up.
Exactly.
Because the Fed's going to get to a point where they'll stop, like they overdid it. And then they're going to start cutting. At that point, it's too late. Everybody knows.
Yep. You missed the train. And that's where
you haven't missed the train. It's just a more expensive ticket to get on the train.
That's a great analogy.
Right.
Well, that's exactly how it is.
You're now paying first class prices for a coach.
Right. But the thing is, think of it as like a rewards program, right? Later on, you're going to get compensated because that's really how it is too. It's one of those things where I've told everybody you just need to, and even from my perspective, yeah, I mean, I have this mortgage, never had a mortgage, and then jumping into it, it's kind of like, it's a big change. I mean, I know some people, they go from like, $2,000, $2,200 to like a $3,000 mortgage or whatever. Like I went from like being very comfortable to jumping full fledged into like,
You mean living with your parents?
Right. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's one of those things where like now I get it, but it's very doable,
right.
And a lot of the times, I mean, it's crazy to me because sometimes I even think of like a lot of people. I mean, you look at people who are like paying $1,200 in just car payments and their credit cards. Like it's insane.
Well, right now, the average car payment for a used car is $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah.
That is
not. It's not really. That's just because of the rates, where the rates are for cars and stuff like that, used car loans and that kind of stuff. So it's at the point where people are still buying cars because they have to. But the most important thing is buy a house now, because before you know it, you'll be like, oh man, this payment's not that big of a deal. And guess what? Every bit is going towards me. And I'm not throwing it away. So the analogy is so if you pay $2,000 in rent, or say you pay $1,000 in rent, now go get $1,000 cash, right, and $100 bills, and just throw it in the street, because that's what you're doing every month, right? Yeah, you get a place to live, but you get nothing from it. So you might as well just go give it to homeless. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to analogy. People don't think that way though. They look at the difference. Oh, it's so much more. No, but it's investment.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. I think any investment, there's always that sacrifice, and there's always, nothing comes easy type of thing, right? Like you're going to have to change some things, and that's really how it is. But I mean, that's what we're here for, is to, explain and teach everybody like the benefits of it. It could seem kind of grueling. I mean, even just the process, and like we were talking about on the last episode, is like maintenance and things like that, right? Like, yeah, those things are going to come up, but for a lot of people, I mean, that's always the goal, is to purchase a house anyway.
Right.
So the sooner you buy, and that's what I always tell everybody too, is, that's, I feel what will make the difference from somebody just buying a house to somebody understanding the process of, building yourself to your dream home or something like that as well.
Right.
Stepping stones.
Yeah. And the other thing is, whenever in life you want something, the question really is, what are you willing to give up to get that? And people aren't used to sacrificing in the last few years anymore. You follow me? There's so much stimulus money thrown to everybody. Here's extra money to do because you're not done anything. My son's in the Army up in Alaska. He's got that $400 from California for driving their car. He didn't drive anything in California, but he got that because he's a resident of California. He got every stimulus that was potentially there. He doesn't even live in California, but because he is a resident of it and he's up there, that's ridiculous, right? They don't need that, send that money out.
No, I think, and it's tough because it's like, I mean, yes, and obviously, I mean, it's a whole different conversation, but it's like, at the end of the day, there's people that need it, right? But still, the way that it gets dispersed, it just doesn't make sense.
I'm glad you said that as a young person, because I'm tired of saying it at my age.
I mean, that's, I think even when it was happening, I was getting stuff.
Dude, my wife and I got the $400 one too. And we're like, how did we get this? Because we know how much we make.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have. And I'm not going to go, hey, you made a mistake.
Right. And that's, and that's the thing too. Because I almost feel
because I'm like, how did we get this? I thought it was fake at first. This is a card to get this because you couldn't. And it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's there needs to be better ways, but it's
go to work. Right. Did you know 25 to 45-year-old or 41-year-old guys are not working right now? There's so many of them not working, and it's just out of the workforce and won't come back. That's why we still have 10 million jobs available out there. We have the people to fill them, but they don't want to work because they haven't had to. They've gotten all the stimulus money, unemployment, this and that, to stay home and do nothing but play games and,
no, it's
be an influencer on TikTok.
Yeah, it's tough because it's, and again, it's just,
all right.
That's what causes everything to just continue or to not get better sooner than it should.
Right. And that's why I have a lot of people I know who run insurance companies, who run sales departments of certain things, and they love immigrants because they work their butts off because they come here for an opportunity. And we have people here in the United States who don't want to work hard. Right. And that's our problem. We need everybody to get back to where it was. Easy times make weak people, hard times make hard people. And we're going to go through a hard time here pretty soon. I don't know when, but sometime. But what we need to do is, if you can afford a home, get a home now, because you're not going to be able to probably in 5 to 10 years. It'll be too costly. Because think about it. Right now, millennials make more per month than their parents did at the same age. Meaning that if you put everything in the same dollar for dollar, millennials make way more money than anybody else in history at their age.
Right.
And so they have more money, more opportunities. If you make 150 grand over in the Bay, you're poor. Move over here and buy a house, because you can buy a house over here with that. You can't over there. You need 260,000.
Yeah, what's happening over there is starting to reflect over here. So that's always the thing. It's about being ready and preparing for the future. That's why I did
the smartest thing, buying a unit.
I feel good.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, people are so worried about interest rates. Well, you know what? Most investors do 10% loans and flip properties with them, because it's ease of getting the loan, being able to do stuff, and then paying it back. It's not that big of a deal. They work it into the project. It's only people who worry about. Most people who worry so much about that can't really afford it. Right. Okay. So, but everybody who thinks they can't afford a house, call me, because you're the ones who can't afford a house.
Yeah, you need to get into a house.
That's right. Now, so give us a call. You can find me on Parcaut everywhere. You can find Francisco Ruvalcaba. Is it Caba? I can't roll my R. I can't. I've tried for years.
No, that's not good. But yeah, give me a call, 209-493-2400.
Yeah, too bad you can't shorten your name so you can get the whole thing across the screen.
I know, right? That was always my problem. I told you, my name got changed to Frank when I was working at the country club.
Oh, Frank.
Frank.
Yeah, hey, Frank.
Gentrified it a little.
Gentrify? That's not gentrifying it.
No? You don't think so?
No, I just think they made it more, I don't know, easier for people, but that's okay. Whatever works, I would just tell you, put Francisco on here, and then, because that's where most people, know you.
Yeah.
So. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Thanks for listening. If you like what we do here, just let us know. And if you have questions or want us to cover anything, just reach out to us. And again, thank you, Francisco, for being here.
Thank you.